new beginning. The river of God is the river of healing. Wake up, the stone is rolled away. That's what we're going to look at today. And did you know, first of all, that Easter was made into a lunar holiday? And it's always the first Sunday after the full moon, after the spring equinox. That's why it changes. And this is celebrating in knowing that life emerges once again from apparent death. And Easter and spring are the time of planting, right? So no matter your religious background, if you had one, the magic of the new beginnings becomes evident in this Easter season with its symbols, as Linda mentioned, of bunnies, eggs, flowers, and new life. And the symbol's interesting of rabbits and eggs because they represent the essence of fertility and new life. The ancient people called this holiday Ostara, in honor of the Germanic goddess Eostre, and the same word that gives us Easter and estrogen. Go figure. So today we join with people all around the world of the Christian faith in observance of this Easter, and we're going to look at the metaphysical interpretation of it and find how it can have personal relevance in our life today. So our founder, Ernest Holmes, in The Science of Mind says, we can step out of the tomb of uncertainty and into the light of eternal day. So we're each on a journey, aren't we, toward the realization of our divine identity, which I talk about a lot. And each step moves us closer toward the realization of our Christ nature that is within us and the divine truth of our being. One of my favorite metaphysical authors is Raymond Charles Barker. And he has a wonderful description of Easter in his philosophy, his term, and it was from a book he wrote back in the 50s called Create the Life You Want. Raymond Charles Barker says, there's a divine power resident in every person which resurrects them from the problems of living. Jesus gave evidence of this power and told his followers to follow him in the use of it. Within you, this power claims your attention. It beckons you to accomplish greatly and not feel defeated. There will always be a stone on your pathway which must be rolled away. And the power of God in you, or the power of the Creator, whatever word, in you will accomplish this. Easter, he says, offers the opportunity to emerge from the problems of the present into greater freedom in the immediate future. No tomb of material problems can stop the individual who knows the divine as their true self and directs their mind aright. Resurrection is the action of God in us, bringing God forth from the tomb of our own errors. Jesus exemplified the spiritual person and the spiritual person's ability to overcome their problems. On Easter morning, Jesus proved that life is indestructible and love reigns forever. Within you, on your pathway, is the power to meet all that comes. You may be tried in the balances, but leaning on the inner mind, you will not be found wanting. Remember, Jesus was only 3 hours on the cross, and that is as long as any difficulty should enslave you. Interesting. Take a breath. So like Jesus, we've all had times of betrayal and times of looking outside of ourselves instead of going within. The Franciscan friar Richard Rohr says, some form of suffering or death, psychological, spiritual, relational, or physical, is one way we will loosen our ties to our small and separate self. Only then does the larger self appear, which we could call a risen Christ, or the soul, or our true self. Because as Ernest Holmes reminds us, Jesus was not the great exception, he was the great example. As the human gives way to the divine, he said, in all people, they become the Christ nature. So Easter, I love Easter because it's the story of the power of spirit that lives deep within life, within each of us, within the very cells and DNA of our being. And it's the story of overcoming and renewal. The truth of Spirit's presence at the center of our being, and it is to this power that we can turn to and let it work through us. So the call is to roll away the stone and let Spirit in, to roll away our doubts, our fears, our worries, our uncertainties. I praise my life. I raise my life in the name of love. Let's say that. I praise my life. I raise my life in the name of love. Yeah. Just like we sang. So to live with a spiritual sense of life is to keep faith. To keep faith, which sometimes can be challenging. Even in moments when we walk through the so-called shadow of the valley of the shadow of death, it is that knowing, that faith, that renewal and rising above limitations are very close to us as our next thought. You know, I've said before, if I could have a new thought about this condition, whatever that condition is, what would that be? So think about that. If you could have a new thought about something that's troubling you, what would that new thought be? And notice how much time we spend on focusing on that thing, and how much time you spend on the possibility of something different. Are you ruminating on the problem, or are you open to a possibility of something else? The other phrase I use a lot, and I teach my students, is I like knowing that, fill in the blank. I like knowing that there's a solution to this. I like knowing that I'll figure this out. I like knowing that this condition maybe isn't forever, or this situation, or this upset. Don't you see how that rises? It helps you rise above the thing that's got you in its craw. A Course in Miracles says, in every given instant, you begin again. Hear that. In every given instant, you begin again. We're always a choice, right? So Easter, I believe, invites us to notice how much of our personal life, the spiritual sense of life, has supported us. And to see where our humanness has given way to the divine, and to be in gratitude for our grand rising, our rising higher, our willingness to step out of the old, move that stone away, and be in a different consciousness. Think about that. What if we responded to people and situations from our inner wholeness? What would that look like? What would that feel like? If that was our MO. That we walk in faith, bringing the best of who we are to every situation. It might mean we don't speak a lot, that we hold this sacred space. It might mean that we bless people silently. I live, move, and have my being in spirit. I use that all the time to re-ground me. I live, move, and have my being in spirit. Or, I live, move, and have my being in wholeness. Let's say that. I live, move, and have my being in wholeness. Claim that. That's a seed that you're planting. So today is a wonderful day to celebrate those resurrected parts of our lives and honor the work we have done, because we're all on a spiritual path. Everyone is in a different place. And we're each willing to sense the power of love and the power of good in action. And it's also, I think now, an opportunity to tell the truth about those parts of our life that we hold apart from Spirit, that remain unrisen. Anybody have those parts? Those parts of us that are not transformed, that are still in the tomb, with the stone firmly in place. I'm going to just stay this way because that's the way I've always been. The call is to roll away that stone, people. Surrender to something greater. We're so funny, aren't we? We're so funny. And surrendering to the divine flow is not about giving in, giving up, being irresponsible, or stopping thinking. Surrender is about a peaceful inner opening that keeps the conduit of living water flowing to love, to the divine flow. Yeah. So I just think that today, let us allow ourselves to be willing, to be new, to roll away the stone, to open to life, to open to love, and the lifting power and renewal of the Spirit within you. Renewal and rebirth, right? Are you in?
Yes.
Are you interested?
Yes.
Say, I'm in.
I'm in.
Say, I've risen.
I'm risen.
Or I'm willing to rise.
I'm willing to rise.
Oh, take a breath, and I'd like you to just close your eyes for a moment. And turn within. And just bring to mind a difficulty that you might be facing right now. Whether that's physically, mentally, emotionally, relationship, financial, doesn't matter. Just bring something that's on your mind. Know that you're in a safe space here. And just bring it to mind. And imagine, with your loving connection to Spirit, with your loving connection to that divine creator, that God's self within you, that Christ within you, however you want to think of that, with your connection to something greater, imagine that you just roll away the stone of doubt or fear or worry about this situation. Just imagine. And that you step out of the tomb of uncertainty and fear. And just imagine that you just can let it go, or let it transform into something, or give you an idea, and that you're resurrecting, you're rising into a new truth. Imagine you're rising above that thing, situation, upset, and now you're going to plant a new thought about it, a possibility. And you don't have to know how, but you want to make it welcome. So breathe into your heart. And think about a divine quality that you want to claim now about this situation. A divine quality like peace, or harmony, or love. And surround that situation upset with that energy, vibration. Just use your imagination. Don't argue with it. And breathe. And know that it is done. It is done. Yes. And take a breath and come back and open your eyes. Sometimes it is just as simple as that. That we pay attention to something that's got our attention. We bring a different thought to it. Love, the divine, and it opens it up and reveals maybe a new idea, or maybe it just drops away from us. That's powerful, isn't it? So you have on your, today, a yellow sheet that we're going to do together. This is our Easter response.